All right, something else that kind of blew me away, and people joined me on my stream yesterday to talk about it, was Death's Door. Now, this is a game that stars a little crow who is a reaper, and he has to go and collect souls. We collect a lot of souls in video games, especially since Dark Souls. And Dark Souls and the kind of Souls kind of mentality is definitely an influence in this game. It's got a kind of cryptic, dark, gothic kind of vibe to it. There's some creepy little corners and stuff, but obviously this is also an incredibly adorable game, and it's a very cleverly crafted one, starring, beautifully animated little characters. Not only the character that you play, but the other crows that you meet that are also sort of endeavoring to collect all of these souls. But also all the enemies that you will fight are really well represented by cool animations. There's lots of great details as well in the environments that just make it look kind of like a storybook or a pop-up book, you know? It's got a great aesthetic to it. And it's done without a tremendous amount of like hyper-realism or like trying to define everything with perfect texture detail or anything like that. It's just cartoony and expertly animated and beautifully scored as well. That's the other thing that really impressed me and everybody that had joined me on my Twitch stream on the game yesterday, is the music is just magnificent. It's just you're washed in it, you know, you're bathed in it. It's so beautiful and so lush. The game was made by a couple of developers and presumably some support in the art department, but basically it's run by two guys that make up a company called Acid Nerve in Manchester, England. And these guys made Titan Souls, which was a terrific experience, but that was a much more hardcore action experience than this one is. Death's Door has, there's hardcore elements in it, and you're going to get into bottlenecks of, fighting different characters and getting into some pretty intense combat and intense situations, but there is so much exploration in this game that it feels very analogous to a classic Legend of Zelda experience. And so it was very, very comfortable for me to get lost, and I love games like this. This wasn't a roguelite type of thing where you lose everything and you got to start a run again. It's all kept for you. All of the things are kept in place for you. If you activate a switch or if you light a furnace and a platform is going up and down, it will still be there when you go back to it. If you've defeated enemies in a room, when you die and start again, they will come back again. But if you defeat enemies in a room and you leave the room and come back into the room, you've killed them, and you'll see their devastation and their debris everywhere. So there is a tremendous amount of detail and also leveling up and sort of, character growth as you start to understand the mechanics and the nuance. There are new weapons that you can pick up. One of the early ones is an umbrella, which was not the best weapon, truthfully. But you'll be fighting bosses that are elaborate and wonderfully represented. Very, very clever art style all the way through this. And then, the sort of core combat mechanics are about rolling away from danger, using projectile weapons, whether you use your sort of magic bow and arrow, or you'll learn spell effects like being able to hurl fireballs and stuff. And then knowing when to roll into an attack and either using a quick strike or a more effective but slower paced hard strike, and you'll chip away, and some of the enemies actually, you honestly do chip away as if they were made out of fine china, like Grandma here, who was one of the earlier bosses in the game. And she's hurling all kinds of stuff, energy bolts from every direction. It's almost like old classic arcade style experiences like that. But then layered on top of that is this sort of meta story of, the responsibilities you have as a Reaper and the other crows that have been sent out on missions and have been disappearing, and the mystery that you kind of have to solve. And boy, is it captivating. Oh my goodness, there was this one section in here after I defeated some stuff and I encountered this really cool character. And that's the other thing about the world building in this game, and I don't know if this was intentional, but we're obviously seeing all kinds of incredible transmedia opportunities for great IP. You know, we're getting a Cuphead animated show. So as I was playing this, it was very easy for me, especially looking at, I think this is from the announcement trailer, but it's very easy for me to look at this aesthetic and go, you know what, there could be an incredible animated series made around this beautiful, you know, creepy world that has been crafted for us. Death's Door is amazing. It's one of the best games that I've played in 2021. It's one of the most enjoyable experiences that I've played from the incredibly talented tastemakers at Devolver. They just know how to find great games, and this is another one of them. Absolutely adore it. Don't sleep on it. I think it's available on every platform, and eventually it will hit the Switch. I don't think it's quite ready for the Switch yet, which would be a perfect fit for it. I played it on the Xbox Series X, and it ran beautifully. It's an incredible game. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10.